Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is the 12th video in the series Thesis Writing with Microsoft Word. It is Mohammed Taylor. You are welcome. In this video, we are going to consider inserting symbols into our Word document, and also we are going to look at how we work with equations in the thesis report. Let's go to Microsoft Word and see how it is done. So in this particular case, we have three instances where we may want to use the symbol facility in Microsoft Word. In the first case, we have 18 is greater than or equals to 18. And of course, if we want to type that, we could type from the keyboard 18. We press the shift key and press our greater than symbol, and we can type something like equals to following the greater than sign, and then we can type 18. But then if we are specific about this greater than equals to symbol as it is written in the first line above, we can just delete this. Then we go to the ribbon, go to the insert tab, and then to the far right of the ribbon we have the symbol button. If we expand it, we will see that there are recently used symbols that we can pick from. But then we can now click on the more symbols if the symbols you are looking for are not among the recently used symbols. But then we have one there, but let's assume that we just didn't see it here. So we click on the more symbols, and then we look for the greater than equals to there, and we click on it, click on insert button, and then close the dialog box. And you see we have our 18 is greater than 18 there. Another situation where you would want to insert a symbol is like the one in the second case, where you have 8 divided by 2. This division line, well, we may want to type something like 8/2 to mean 8 divided by 2. And again, if you are specific about the division symbol, we could delete the / and replace it with a symbol by going to the ribbon. So we click on the insert tab, and then we go to the symbols button and then expand it, look for it in the recently used symbols. If it is not there, we again click on more symbols, and then we can look for division, the division sign there, and there it is, we have it. So we click it, and then we can insert it. We have inserted it already. So now that we have inserted it, we can close the dialog box and then delete the duplicate of that symbol. And you can see that's how it is done. Equally, when you want to use currency symbols such as the 2000 euro, you can see there, or 3000 yen, then we need to go to the insert symbols facility of Microsoft Word, because we do not have these currency symbols on our keyboard. So we click on the insert tab, and then go to the symbols button and then expand it, then go to more symbols, and then we can look for the euro. Here is euro. So we click on insert and we close it. Then we can type 2000, and we have our 2000 euro in plus. Then we do the same for the yen. We look for the yen and click on it, click on insert, and then close. So we have our 30,000 yen. So that is how we use these symbols in Microsoft Word. So that is about symbols. The next thing we are going to look at is how to use equations in our Microsoft Word document. So like we want to use the equation in our thesis, for example. We have a few examples that we will want to show here. If we want to insert this equation is the Yemani's formula for finding sample size of a population in your research. So to type this one, up on the ribbon, we go to the insert tab. Just above the symbol button there, we have the equation button. If we expand, we see that there are readily made equations, which if you are interested in, you can just click and they drop there. Like interested in this area of the circle, you can just click it and it appears there. But if it is not there, you have to build the equation from scratch. So you click on the insert tab, go to the equation and expand it, go to insert new equations. Once you click on the insert new equations, you will find that there's the equation canvas will now come here, and then you can now type whatever equation you want to type. So we are interested in typing this Yemani's formula. So I now type my n here and press the spacebar on the keyboard, press the equal key, then spacebar again. And now, because we have specifically a fraction on the right of the expression, we need to go to the equation tab on the ribbon. If your equation editor is active on your page, because if we click outside the equation editor, we will see that the equation tab has vanished from the ribbon. So to bring it back, we click anywhere in the equation editor, and then we have the equation tab there. So if I click on the equation tab, there are many tools under it which we can use to bring to life the equation we are interested in. So suppose we want to type the fraction on the right of that Yemani's formula, we go to the structures group. The structures group is to the right of that ribbon. So if we look at it, we have different structures, and you look for the one that is more that looks more like the equation you want to type. So we look at it, the fraction here, structure looks more like the equation we want to type on the right. So we click on this arrow, or we click on this fraction structure and look for the one that's most appropriate. You can see the first one is the best choice, so we click on it, and then you see that it gives us placeholders for the numerator of that fraction and the denominator. So we click in the numerator placeholder that is on the box that represents the numerator, and then we can type whatever we have at the top of our equation here. So actually we are going to see that if we want to type that, we now type the n, then come to the numerator and type that you are 1 plus then your uppercase N from the keyboard, or then we can press the open parenthesis on the keyboard as well, type your E and then close the parenthesis. And once that is done, we need to make these parentheses kind of having a power of 2. So we select the parentheses and whatever is inside, and then go to a structure that looks like a superscript, and the structure that best describes that is the script here. So we click on it and look for the placeholders that serve the purpose, and again it is the first one here. So we can see that we have a placeholder for the superscript that we need to put there, which is 2. And once we do that, we have our equation in place. You can see that this is how we can write the equation in Microsoft Word. Suppose we want to just represent this equation here, the equation for the root of a quadratic equation. So if we want to insert this equation, it's similar to what we just did. Go to the Insert tab, click on the equation. We can just click on equation directly and it will place the equation editor on our page. Type my X here, press the space bar, press the equal sign on the keyboard, press the space bar, and then go to the radical to look for the similar expression what we want. We can see that we have it directly there. If we want, we can just click on it and it will appear. But if we want to build this right hand expression from scratch, we can undo it, and then we go about doing it by going to the equation tab, which is already highlighted. We look for the appropriate structure, which is this fraction structure. We pick the first one, and the placeholders for the numerator up there will be this box. So we now type minus b plus minus, and again plus minus cannot be found on the keyboard, so we look for it on the symbols group, and the symbols group is here, as you can see, but the appropriate one is the first one. In case you don't see the one you are looking for, you can expand the symbols group, and there are many more out there. And again, by the way, we have many other symbols. This is for basic math. For example, you can now look for other categories of this in like Greek letters. If you click, you will see that you have alpha, beta, gamma, and so on and so forth. But here we are interested in just basic math symbols, so we now pick the plus minus symbol. And once we have picked that, we just go for what structure in the structures group that looks more like what we are looking for here. So this should be the radical. So we click on it, and then the most appropriate one is this one. So I click on it, and we are going to have a square root with a placeholder under it. Go to the superscript structure, click the first one, and then we have the appropriate base and the superscript placeholders. So we can type out B, and then use your right arrow key to go to the superscript box, the placeholder, and press it. Now the cursor is blinking in the placeholder for the superscript. So if we type anything, it will appear as a continuation of the superscript. Like if I type is 4 here, you'll see that it's like b raised to the power of 24, and that's not what we want. We'll press the backspace key to remove that 4. So for me to bring the cursor back to normal, to continue with my equation, I press the right arrow key so that it now is in a continuity. So we can now press our minus sign and then 4AC. Once we are done with that, we can come down and click on the denominator placeholder and type our 2A. And there we have our equation in place. Another equation that we may want to try is this one. This is an equation for summation. We go to the ribbon, click on the Insert tab. So we click on the large operator structure, and this first one cannot give us what we want because of the range 1 equals to 1 to n there. So we go for another one. This should be the appropriate one. So we click on it, and once we click on it, we can give it the range here, I equals to 1 and then to n there. And so we can now come here and type the rest of the expression, like I equals to whatever we have there. So I now type I here equals to, then the right hand side looks like what we have been doing in the first two equations. So we just go to the fraction structure to get our fraction box over another box. So we now type this one in this placeholder, our n into n plus 1, close the parenthesis, and click in the placeholder of the denominator. We type our 2. And once we have typed that, you can see that you have our equation in place. And that is how we type these equations. I hope you have found this exercise interesting. Let's hope to meet in another video. Thank you for watching.